Welcome back to the After the Siren podcast. I'm Albert. Joined with me, like always, Joe.
Yes.
Joe going a little crazy right now, dancing.
That was a good siren right there.
How's your weekend?
I don't think I did much. Yeah, that's about it. What about you? I didn't do anything. I literally didn't do anything, I don't think, this weekend. Not that I can
You
remember.
got two working legs. I expect you to do something.
Well, you know what? I killed my legs during the week, so they get the day off.
Nice.
How
You
about
been
you,
working
Albert?
on your pronunciation of all these teams
No.
and cities?
Y'all killing me. How is Melbourne? You know, we're going to cover that later.
Yeah.
Very first game, actually, so.
Well, let's jump right into the biggest news. CEO Gillen McLachlan announces he's stepping down after this year. He was very impactful when it came to establishing the Women's League in Australia. He focused on attendance, made tickets very cheap this season after two COVID-ravaged seasons, saying this year's for the fans. And he has committed to completing the collective bargaining agreement for the men's and women's leagues before he leaves, which is at the end of this season. You might want to change your Wi-Fi. Nice.
Oh, sorry about that.
Change your Wi-Fi. You heard what I say or
Yeah.
no?
No, that's what I just did. I just changed it because
Okay.
I know the other one's ass.
All right.
So you just come. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
I read through mine. I should record mine, but what's your thoughts on CEO Gillen McLachlan and him stepping down?
It was a shock. I mean, I didn't really know much about him before. I think in the US, it probably like hit the media and stuff around like a little after 10 p.m. I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what time it is in Australia. Maybe like midday. But I did some reading and I mean, I was a little surprised that he stepped down because, like, as he was saying, like, it was in a really good spot. There's really no reason for him to step down. I don't know if there's something going on in the back rooms type of thing. Or he just want to spend more time with the family.
I think it's that.
Yeah, probably. Do you know how old he is?
Mid-40s, I think.
I mean, I don't know how well they're being paid. Because what is he, like the commissioner or
CEO? So
CEO?
basically, I believe so.
Yeah. I don't know how well like the income is at AFL. I'm sure he's making close to $1 million, maybe. I don't know if he's making over $1 million a year. So I mean, it was definitely a big shock. I mean, I think you already covered his impact with like I don't know what the women's league is, AFWL maybe.
AFLW.
AFLW, yeah. I mean, big impact in that. He set up a new television contracts. I think it's set to end in 2024. Did you already say that or?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I did something useful.
All right. I didn't write this down, this question, but who's your ideal candidate to replace him?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I was just messing with you right there. All right. Let's get into round 4 games.
Let's see. Oh, wait. This is a video. I was on the AFL app and it's like, who will be his successor? But I'm not going to watch that right now. Maybe I'll watch that after.
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the games. First game, Port Adelaide versus Melbourne. Melbourne won 68-36. Tale of two teams, really. Melbourne moves to 4-0. Haven't lost since like August, September last year. Port moved to 0-4. Ryan Burton seemed to be the only positive for Port. Ollie Wines, reigning Brownlow winner, substitute at half with felt nauseous. Max Gawn had 25 disposals, 33 hit-outs, 12 marks, 6 clearances, 1 goal. Hinkie made – hold up, my bad. And this was Port's Port didn't go without scoring a goal in the entirety of the first half.
Yep. First time ever.
Yep.
First time Melbourne's kept the team goalless in the first
Yep.
half since '94. This is Port's worst start since '08. I know this is Dan Hinckley's first year as coach. Do you think there's a chance that the team cuts ties with him during the season or after the season?
I don't think it's his first year.
It's not. Nope.
It's his 9th year.
I read somewhere that I thought it was his first. Let me look it up.
I read somewhere where it was his 9th.
Oh, Dan.
Look at us go.
Hank.
Our Australian friends and viewers.
We learning as we go, Albert.
We're
Dan
learning. All right,
Hinckley
we getting better. Getting better.
for Adelaide season.
Yeah. No, head coach. Let's stretch my back out.
Do you have anything else you want to add to this game?
No, Max Gahn played good. Ollie Wines. That's going to be a big loss for Melbourne. Left the game nauseous.
First season. Honestly, I can't find it.
Okay, so on Wikipedia, it said it was his 9th year. He made the finals 5 out of the 9 years. And on average, his team for points for versus points against, like the percentage, on average, his team scores 104.78% more.
All right, well, let's just
year.
change it up. Do you think they cut ties with him after the season or before?
No,
You think they keep him?
he has a
And then
track
write it
record
out?
of success. Yep. He had so many injuries with Port this year. At this point, he's not necessarily the problem with the team. Yes, this past week was an abysmal performance. If you're a Port fan, you're very depressed, you're sad. There's nothing to be proud of. But at the same time, if these performances continue, like against Melbourne, he's done at the end of the year. But I think they'll rebound and come back stronger this next week.
Yeah, I mean, you already mentioned things for Port injury-wise, and I know you already mentioned Ollie Wines. He got subbed out. Ruckman Scott Lysick, he played the whole match, but he was obviously hindered by that shoulder injury that he has. For Melbourne, did you already mention Max Gahn?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Max Gahn, yeah, 25 disposals, 12 marks, 33 hit out, 6 clearances, 1 goal. Destroyed Port. Honestly, I'm surprised Melbourne didn't score more with just how dominant they are. But Melbourne looks very strong. Very strong.
I agree. Moving on, we have next match was Geelong Cats with 80 over the Brisbane Lions, who had 70. It was a tight match, back and forth really throughout a game. One team takes the lead, ties it back up. 2 goals in the 4th quarter for the Cats to win. The midfield was key in the victory. Their midfield was both of them were fighting it out, but Geelong had the slight edge over them in the midfield when it came down to it, which helped them win. So 3 injuries for Geelong. Stewart came out with a gastro problem. Ratogolea, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Ankle injury. Narkle with an ankle injury. Those are going to be big absences. Tom Hawkins, what a game. 5 goals, 3 behinds, 14 disposals, 9 kicks, 5 hitouts, 7 marks, 193 meters gained. That right there shows me that he's just a poacher, just getting the ball within 50 and just trying to score.
Yeah, Geelong, now a 19-year home winning streak against Brisbane. Very, very back and forth match, like you said, lots of pace. The first 6 goals Geelong scored right after Brisbane had an answer. A lot of missed opportunities for Geelong, though. Like, it really probably shouldn't have been this close. Geelong, I think, had 14 behinds. Brisbane only 4. So, I mean, a couple more of them, if they could just even those out a little bit. You already mentioned Tom Hawkins. I mean, great performance. Lachie Neal, I know you like him a lot.
Yeah.
He had a great game. 30 disposals, 21 contested possessions, 11 clearances.
Lachie Neal's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get him on the pod.
Lachie Neal, if you're watching, man.
Yeah, we'll do
It was a good game to watch. It was out of all the games I wanted to watch, this is the one that I wanted to see how Brisbane would, I guess, perform against a higher class team.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think
It
they
was a
passed
good
their
game.
first real test of the year. They
think that's
didn't
a
win.
pass?
They didn't win, but they show that they can compete. And
Okay.
Geelong, like we said, Geelong's one of the favorites, not just to get to the finals, but win the premiership in the grand final.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah.
All right, moving on, we have the Sydney Swans. A little scary for them, edging North Melbourne 86-75. It was back and forth all match, and North Melbourne showed real grit. Good response from the Kangaroos because last week their young team got thrashed by Brisbane by 108. Aaron Hall and Luke McDonald combined for 52 disposals, 39 kicks, 13 hitouts, 16 marks, and 1,272 meters gained. Good duo in the midfield for North Melbourne, and also for North Melbourne, Jack Zeibel, 5 goals. It feels unlucky that North Melbourne didn't win, to be honest with you. But a scary sign for Sydney Swans fans. Lance Buddy Franklin kicked his 1,000th goal a couple of weeks ago. Came off with a finger injury. How big of an impact is that going to be for Sydney going forward?
It's a big impact. I mean, this dude, he's the leader of the team. If they want him to make clutch goals, the guy that he goes to. I mean, when it comes down to the heat of the moment, he is so clutch. And so against a tougher team, like we were just talking before, if they go up against Geelong and, they're down by 5 with a minute left, I want the ball in Lance's hands. And now he's not going to be there for, I'm not sure how long they said that he's going to be out for. It's probably missing at least 1 week, I'd imagine. So, I mean, Sydney might struggle for however long he's out.
What are your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, I mean, big up North Melbourne, the Kangaroos. I mean, they seem to be improved. Sydney didn't play too well, but well enough to beat them. You already mentioned Zach Zeibel, who's known as a defender actually, but they put him up front because of his great kicking ability that he showed, and he carried them. I mean, I know you already said, but 5 goals, 1 behind. It was pretty. It was a shocking performance, I guess. I don't think many fans expected him to come out and produce the way that he did. So we'll see if they start him up their next match.
Yeah, pretty impressive. All right, moving on, we had Collingwood versus West Coast. West Coast took the win, 87-74. If Collingwood played better in the first half, they would have won it. Like in the second half, Collingwood was by far the better team until like the last five or so minutes in the fourth. But in the first half, it was all West Coast. West Coast was also much more clinical than Collingwood inside 50. Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott. I don't know. I can't even read my own handwriting, so my bad. Elliott of Collingwood, he left early in the fourth quarter with a dislocated shoulder. He could miss up to 12 weeks. That's a huge loss for them.
Jack Crisp has a lot of injuries.
Yeah. Jack Crisp had a 1 behind, 29 disposals, 15 kicks, 14 hitouts, 6 marks, 4 tackles, and 676 meters gained. West Coast. They're on the board.
Yeah. Albert, what an upset. What an upset this was. We both picked Collingwood last week in the pick'em. Collingwood, such a long injury list. That thing goes on for miles. COVID-19 has hit them harder than any other team in this
West
league.
Coast?
What'd I say?
Collingwood.
Oh, yeah, I meant West Coast. Somehow they're able to overcome this against a decent Collingwood team who has made an improvement from last year to this year, a big improvement actually. You already said West Coast very efficient. They scored 14 goals, only had 3 behinds, whereas Collingwood only 10 goals, 14 behinds. So I mean, very inaccurate for them, and that efficiency was really big for them. Collingwood outpaced them inside of 50, 61-42. So the fact that they're able to convert those chances into goals was big for them because they didn't have too many. Collingwood, they continue to show. I don't know if it's poor conditioning, just like some mentality issues,
Yeah.
but an inability to close out games.
Yeah.
Last week, Geelong outscored them 44-1 in the fourth. This game outscored 30-10. They just need a mentality. You got to step on the throats when they're down. Never let off the gas pedal. You know what I mean? So hopefully that improves.
Yeah, that's something to take a look at going forward in the season. Can they fix that glaring issue? All right, moving on. Richmond 99 over Western Bulldogs, who had 61. Once again, kicking accuracy. Richmond had 15 goals, 9 behinds. Western Bulldogs, 7 goals, 19 behinds. That's not going to cut it. Richmond cruised to victory because of these inaccuracies, because of all those behinds. A couple of those are goals. It's a completely different game. But Marcus Bonton Yelly had a goal, 3 behinds, 33 disposals, 15 kicks, 18 hitouts, 5 marks, 541 meters gained. And Tom J. Lynch, picked him last week for my goal of the week. He comes out, scores 4 goals, 173 meters gained. Once again, proving how much of a good poacher he is in Australian rules football. Probably one of the top poachers in the league right now, based off of form. But Richmond took the win.
Yep. The first thing I've written down, Tom Lynch for Richmond with his best out in the season with 4 goals. So, I mean, thank you for stealing my thunder right there.
No problem. Anytime.
For Western, we've said it since week 1, Albert. Inaccuracies. And when are they going to start taking notes from us? 7 goals, 19 behinds. 19 behinds. 12 people on this team scored behind. And out of 12 people had behinds. And out of those 12, only 6 were able to put it between the posts. Bulldogs, they look undermanned. I know they were without Alex Keith. So, I mean, that was a big part because Tom Lynch, he was able to jump left and right with his 4 contested marks. Shai Bolton for Richmond, he continues to impress me. He's become one of my favorite players to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of MLB guys, if I had to compare him, I'd say he's like a Fernando Tatis. He's athletic, he's speedy, he's showy, he has a lot of flair. He finished with 20 disposals, five clearances, 2 goals, and one of them being an absolute masterclass.
Masterclass, eh? All right, this next game, I got to play my Dockers club song.
You can't hear it, bud.
Yeah.
It sounds like a whole lot of nothing. It sounds like E. I don't know why I'm leaning again. I'm listening to my AirPods. I couldn't hear Jack in that.
Well, every AFL club has a club song, and
yeah, I know that.
Fremantle, that's a great one. And speaking of Fremantle,
wait. Let me start with this. This is your team.
Whoa.
Let me start because I know you're going to want to go off a little bit.
All right.
For Fremantle, great 4th term for y'all. Inaccuracies played y'all in the first 3 quarters. But I mean, you had 6 goals and no behinds in that last term, which I mean, basically won you guys the game.
Yep.
Same can't be said for the Giants. Their worst quarter came in the 4th, where they had 0 goals and 4 behinds. And I'll let you take it away with all the players and stuff that you liked.
All right. I'm telling you, my one favorite player, you're going to hear a bold take during this. All right. Accuracy, like you said, from Frio, 7 goals, 10 behinds in the first 3 quarters. We were up by 1 or 2 heading into the 4th. It finished 88-54 over Greater Western Sydney. But like you said, 6 straight goals in the last quarter, which was huge for us. Nat Fife returned to the midfield and made an instant impact. Our captain, first game of the year. You could see his impact as soon as he stepped on the field. The way he controlled the midfield, it was just an absolute workhorse in the middle. Nathan O'Driscoll, what another class performance from him. 2 goals, 2 behinds, countless disposals. I think he is a contender for the AFL Rising Star. The way he's been playing, 18, 19 years old, he's got this.
Been impressive. Been impressive.
He's got this. Will Brody put in a good shift. But let's talk about Fremantle's defense. They're second best defensive unit right now based off of points allowed, which this is allowing our inaccuracies kicking not be as big of a problem as they should be, like what you see with Western Bulldogs. But Keith Chapman, Brendan Cox, Luke Ryan, just to name a few guys in the back, they've been key and huge. Michael Frederick, he scored a goal, hit the gritty. I mean, this Fremantle team, they're young, they're bonding, they're having fun, and they're exciting to watch going forward, trying to prove that they're contenders to get into the finals.
Cool. Yeah.
So that's about it. All right, moving on. Essendon, we called it.
We did.
103, Adelaide 99. Kicking inaccuracies for Essendon, 15 goals, 13 behinds. That almost cost them, but they won by 4 behinds because Adelaide had 15 goals as well. Essendon avoided their first 0-4 start for the first time since 1967. Wright continued his strong start to the 2022 season with 2 goals, 4 disposals. 4 disposals. No, wait, 4 behinds, my bad. 4 behinds, 4 marks. Solid game from Wright. He looks like he could be in the conversation for Brownlow at the end of the
Who'd
year.
you say? Who'd you say? Peter Wright?
Yeah.
I have him at 3 goals, 6 marks.
Okay, that makes sense. I was misreading. I was watching TV because they were talking about something on TV, so I was watching that. MLB Network. But yeah, Wright, I think if he continues the strong start, he could be in the conversation for the Brownlow. What's your takes on the game?
For Essendon, I know their coach Ben Rutten. I know he's in isolation, so a good job by Blake Caracella. Gotta give a shout out to him for rallying the troops. Darcy Parish for Essendon, influential in the back for them. He had 38 touches, 8 clearances. Up front, as we already mentioned, Peter Wright, great game. For Adelaide, Taylor Walker, this is his first game of the season since, banned for his racist comments. So we won't go into depth in that.
Yeah.
He had 4 goals, though. So, I mean, having him back in the lineup, we'll see how that will change their offense going forward.
Yeah. All right, this next game, I'll let you go on it, but Hawthorn 73, St. Kilda 142. St. Kilda Saints won by 69. Floor is yours.
What a matchup. I mean, going into the pick'em last week, I was close to picking Hawthorn just because their young studs have been producing. I was like, listen, it's time, these vets on St. Kilda, they're going to be a matchup problem for them. And guess what? They did. Saints post their highest score under Brett Ratton, but he's actually missing the next match because of COVID. Paddy Ryder and Rowan Marshall dominate the experienced Hawks in the ruck and the attack. Ryder, he had 2 goals, 10 disposals. Before the match or after the match, he faced a suspension with that late hit on Will Day. He had to leave with a concussion. The Saints went for an appeal today. I believe it was today. Could have been yesterday. AFL threw that out. He's now suspended for rounds 5 and 6. So that's going to be having him out. Paddy Ryder, a guy a lot of young guys look up to. So, he'll definitely be missed. Brady Hill kicked his career best, 4 goals. 3 other Saints had 4 goals. Tim Membry, Jay Gresham, and who else than Max King? The King of Kings, Max King. They're also very inaccurate, Albert. That 15 scores coming from 22 forward entries. I'm honestly surprised how well they're doing, how well both our teams are doing. I needed them going to the finals before the season started, and now it looks like both of them could make the finals. So, I mean, that's what I got.
Do you think your coach being out next week affects your guys' next match against Gold Coast?
I'm not entirely sure yet because, I mean, it depends on how what Gold Coast team we get, because we
Yeah.
see them play really bad, we see them play really good, and we'll cover that next. They've just been very inconsistent. If it's the side that we saw this week, potentially could play in the hands of Gold Coast. So that's all I'll say for that.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of Gold Coast, they beat Carleton by 30, 92-62. They surprised me. They controlled the match from the mid-first quarter on. It was just all Gold Coast. Cripps is hurt with a left hamstring injury. We wish him the best, a speedy recovery. The Suns could have had a higher lead after the first quarter, but there was key misses inside 50 and around 50 that were huge. And Cripps being out, that's just bad news for Carleton.
Yeah, lots of missing players for Carleton, and that really played a factor. We already mentioned Patrick Cripps. There's a late withdrawal, Mark Panett. He's a midfielder for them, and it really left the Blues low manned because he's a tall, big body type of guy. Had a guy with not a lot of experience in there. Gold Coast, they have a very impressive young midfield trio. Toke Miller, I know he's one of them. I have a couple guys listed. I'm looking for them. Jack Lucosi, I believe that's how you say it, for the Suns. He was instrumental for them with his 4 scoring assists. Noah Anderson with his 20 disposals, 7 clearances. Yeah, Suns dominated them in their own game. The Blues are known for being doing a great job at clearing the ball, and they absolutely destroyed them in that. So in your opinion, how do you think Cripps' injury affects his Brownlow chances? Because he's arguably been the most dominant player in the first 3 rounds, I guess. Yeah.
How long is he scheduled to be out or predicted? How many weeks?
Albert, I cannot give you an answer on that. No, here we'll take another little pause in the podcast. Patrick Cripps injury return.
I'll look up their schedule, see how many games he's going to be missing. 'Cause they might have a bye week coming up.
So I believe he left in after the first quarter.
Yes.
Because I know he scored, was it 1 or 2 goals in the first term?
I don't know. Hold on, I got it here.
So they're saying that it doesn't look like a serious injury.
He had a goal,
but he would be missing in the lineup for a little bit. But this doesn't give an exact.
So let's just say roughly a month.
A month. I don't think it'll be even a month.
Hamstring.
Because
it depends.
I'm not saying
his Brownlow chances are going to run based off of how much time he's missing. Because the AFL season isn't that long, like 22, 24 matches. So if he's missing like 3-4 games, that might hamper his chances unless he comes back and is immediately as dominant as he was before. My question is, though, it's not necessarily his Brownlow chances. It's how does Carleton move on without him for the near future? Because when he's in the lineup, Carleton's been dominant.
Yeah.
So my question is, who will step up, and how bad will this impact Carleton's season?
Well, hopefully, Mark Panett. I don't know exactly why he was out of the match. I'll have to look that up. He can be a guy who can step in, and he won't be able to fulfill the shoes of Cripps. He'll be able to temporarily, do part of his job, I guess. Definitely offensively, I think we should expect them probably not to put up as many points because he's just so great at moving the ball forward. So I mean, I think Carlton, they have good enough team to still make the top 8. Like, let's say he's out for the whole season. I think they still make the top 8. But if you're against the top teams, without him in the lineup, because he's an absolute superstar, they're probably going to struggle against teams like Brisbane, Geelong, Melbourne. But teams like North Melbourne and West Coast, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I think Lochie O'Brien is a guy to look at in terms of guys who can step up to fill the void. But we'll see what Carlton does going forward and how bad his injury really is. All right, let's move on to our players and goals of the week. You want to start off with your player of the week?
Oh, now I get to start. You didn't let me start on any of the matches, man.
My bad.
I have Tom Hawkins of Geelong. They're going up against another heavyweight in Brisbane. He pulled out a match-winning display with his 5 goals, 3 behinds, 14 disposals, 7 marks, and was influential in them getting an important 4 points.
Yeah. My player of the week, I have Lachie Weller from Gold Coast. He had a goal, 31 disposals, 24 kicks, 7 hitouts, 8 marks, 811 meters gained. He was influential in the midfield and up top, just moving around everywhere. He was a big part of why Gold Coast won and won big. So that's who I have. Who's your goal of the week?
My goal of the week is from my new favorite player, Shai Bolton. As soon as he kicked it, the announcer goes, "That was a miracle goal." That's how special it was. He intercepts the pass inside the 50, and he's basically running almost out of bounds when all of a sudden he kicks the ball. The angle was almost an impossible angle. Perfect right through the middle. Go watch the clip on our TikTok after this. It's insane.
All right, my goal of the week, Isaac Smith of Geelong. He was on the left-hand side, pretty much on the boundary, on the edge where the 50 arc is, right here. He uses his left foot. So he had to kick it with the outside of his left foot to get it to bend into the goal from outside 50. It was quite impressive. You have to watch the goal. It's insane.
Tune into the TikTok after the Siren Pod.
Yeah. All right, now we're going on a round 5 pick'em. What's our records right now?
Hold up real quick. The Pick'em King is here
Oh my goodness.
with my Burger King crown.
Does that mean I have to take my hat off?
Hell yeah. The King is 18-9. Albert, though, very honorable.
You're 18-9?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were okay. What's my record?
Albert, you're very honorable last week. You went 17. You're now 17-10. You got one more win than me last week.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
I'm still
overall
still
though.
the king.
I won the first week we did it. I won this 3rd week we did it. So I'm
I don't
one in my book.
I don't believe we did the first
Up to one in
week.
my book.
So I don't believe we did the first week. So
No, the first week that we did pick them.
yeah, but you had the absolute stinker last week. So
2 weeks ago. This will be our 4th pick 'em.
whatever, man.
I won, you won, I won.
You don't have the crown. I have the crown.
That's because you made it yourself.
Shut up.
All right,
right,
so
let's get on with it.
You can lead it off.
All right. First matchup, Brisbane versus Collingwood. I have Brisbane.
I have Brisbane as well.
North Melbourne against Western. I was very close to taking the Kangaroos in this matchup, but they still have shown that they're having troubles moving the ball, defending the ball. Give me a solid Western team. This is a chance for them to solve out their inaccuracies and potentially moving forward, absolutely change, do a turnaround of the season. So give me the Bulldogs.
I am scared about their inaccuracies. North Melbourne has been a roller coaster team this whole year. You don't know what they're going to get. But last week they showed grit, and they played very well against the Sydney Swans, who were expected just to roll right over them. But they were heavy favorites. Give me the North Melbourne Kangaroos in the upset over the Western Bulldogs.
Fair. Next up, West Coast against Sydney Swans. Give me the Swans.
I'm taking the Swans as well. They win every other week.
Every other week? Well, they just won this past week.
Yeah, they lost a week before.
So then they should lose this week then.
I felt like they lost this week.
I mean, they struggled against North Melbourne. I guess you can say that's a loss.
Yeah.
All right, next up, St. Kilda against Gold Coast. Give me the hot St. Kilda squad.
I like Gold Coast the way they played last week, but like you said, I don't know what team they're going to get. Your coach is out due to COVID problems this next week. I think it's going to be a very close, tight game, probably the game of the week. But I think St. Kilda would just edge them.
Adelaide versus Richmond. This was another matchup I was going back and forth with. I think there's only one team separating them. Richmond's 2 spots higher than Adelaide on the ladder. Nope, I'm sticking with it. Okay, I'm going to go with Adelaide at home against Richmond.
I'm taking Richmond on the road. Adelaide has been quite shaky, and honestly, if it wasn't for Port's disaster class against them in the showdown, we might be talking about Adelaide being towards the bottom of the ladder. So I'm taking Richmond.
Okay. One thing for Adelaide, I feel like almost every matchup has been close.
Yeah.
So I feel like they just had a little bit of hard luck. So maybe some luck will swing this way like they did in the showdown.
Yeah.
All right. Melbourne against Great Western Sydney.
Greater Western Sydney.
That's what I said.
You said great. You're going to get bullied in the comments.
Oh, geez. I'm sorry. Wait, do I have to say Melbourne or Melbourne, Albert? Because they were saying Melbourne on the TikTok.
Melbourne. No, that's with the accent. Melbourne is how you say it with the accent. Melbourne.
Screw the TikTok bullies. Melbourne against the Giants. I'll say that.
I think they're fans. They're not bullies. They're helping.
I've said since we started this, I'm picking Melbourne until they lose. Give me Melbourne.
I agree with you. Greater Western Sydney has not been the team we thought they could be this year so far. I think they're not going to turn around against Melbourne. I think Melbourne is going to.
That sounds so wrong. Melbourne. They're in the bin.
Melbourne. I think they're going to. That's how you say it with the accent. Melbourne. Melbourne's going to win.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Next up, Carlton versus Port. Carlton with some key injuries here. Port, I cannot trust them one bit either because of their injuries. Give me Carlton at home.
Carlton has Cripps out definitely for next week. Port has 3 potential returns. Carlton looked in shambles after Cripps' injury because that's when Gold Coast started taking over the game. And like you said, Carlton does have injury problems. I'm going to take Port in an upset here.
That's a big upset.
I think they're going to – it's a lot closer on the Australian betting thing. A lot closer than North Melbourne over Sydney Swans last week. But I think Port – it's going to be very close. But I think Port will just edge them, get their first win of the year.
They're due for a win, so maybe they can pull it out. All right, this next squad, we're also getting bullied for how we said it. Even though I swear we said it right, even with their little pronunciation thing. Essendon. I know, but I'm just like extremely pronouncing the S, the N, and the Dawn.
Okay.
Essendon. Essendon against your Fremantle Dockers. Essendon. No, they're riding high on the first win of the season. Give me Essendon.
Essendon coming off their first win of the year. they've beaten Fremantle. Last 5 times at home. This
You can't
Frio
take
squad's a different team, different breed, second best defense in the league. Give me my Frio. Frio. Way to go. Hit him real hard, send him down below. Now
Okay.
Frio.
Okay. Settle down, buddy. Settle down, buddy.
Hey, we're
All
going
right.
to win.
Next up, potential 2 heavyweights, depending on which Hawthorne we get, but we have Hawthorne versus Geelong. We already mentioned before, Geelong, one of the top teams to potentially win the premiership. Give me Geelong.
This is a good game if you're a Hawthorne fan. Measure up your youngsters against one of the premier teams in the league, one of the favorites, our podcast favorite to win the premiership. But I think Geelong's just going to win this one.
Cool. All right, so we got a couple differences, so we'll see how that shakes up.
Yep.
The scoring. We got baseball coming up on Thursday.
Yep.
That'll be fun. Anything you want to add?
Nope. Just excited to see this week's games, and thank you to all of our watchers and listeners wherever you're at, whether it's
our 10
YouTube,
watchers. Thank you.
YouTube or TikTok or Instagram.
Sayonara.
See ya.